So I had a friend yesterday telling me, why are you going to talk about time and time management? You taught me that time doesn't exist. And I said, yes, you are right. Time doesn't exist. And whoever told you that must be a genius. But I'm not exactly going to talk about time management. I'm going to tell them about what they think time is. Because things are not exactly what you think they are. And I'm going to tell them a lot about themselves that they don't know. Maybe I'm going to let them know that they are addicts. That they are actors, and you are just acting. You might not accept that, but at the end of the speech, you will probably be persuaded. I'm going to make many points throughout my speech, so many points that you can draw a line of the points I've been making throughout my speech. I don't know what you're thinking about right now, but I know that at the end of my speech, you will be thinking about something that I told you. Because I'm going to give you so many things to think about, and I want you to think about it wisely and use your time perfectly. And for that, I'm going to give you some tips. Because you see, things are not exactly the way you think they are. As you see right there, for many of you, that's just life laughing at you. But if you move a little bit and change perspective, you will realize that it's not even a painting. If you come closer, you will realize that it's just a piece of art. It's a sculpture, and it's nothing like a smile. Just like your life. Your life can be art. Your schedule can be a sculpture. And how are you going to sculpture your schedule? And your time is an illusion. Many of you are thinking, I don't have time for anything. Oh, how can I fit this into my schedule? I'm so busy. But maybe that's an illusion as well. What if I tell you that I can add more hours to your day without adding more hours to the 24 hours? Maybe just by deleting things that you are doing that you should not be doing, that are just a waste of your time. That's what I call, my friends, getting more by doing less. Right? Now you are here, and tell me how it feels to be here. How does it feel to be right here right now? Maybe so, right? You plan to be here, and you plan things around your schedule, and you plan things around your work, and around this meeting right here. But maybe some of you came late, or some of you were running late, and you really felt that. You really felt the anguish. You really felt the frustration. Why am I late right now? You will embracing the pain. A lot of people talk about embracing pain. We have to embrace the pain. I'm going to let you know what I think about that in a moment. But I think that what you got to do is value zero. You have to embrace zero. Now I give you a minute to think about how you are feeling right now, being in the place to be, in the place you have to be. Actually, let me take that minute and reduce it into 1 second. Because that's exactly what's happening every day. You are doing things that take an hour that should be done maybe 1 minute, or probably should not be done at all. You have to learn to value zero. Value right now, because we value the pain of not being in time. We value the frustration of running and being sweaty when we come here. But when you are here, you don't value that. Yeah. Now you are here. And that's where you are. And realize why you come here and you have to value zero. Because it has to be like a drug. It's an addiction to you, right? Value zero. Sometimes it hurts our arm. And we're thinking, I have an arm. We're thinking, I have to ride today. Why does it hurt? Sometimes it hurts our feet. I have to walk today. My feet are hurting and you cannot stop thinking about your feet. Your head is hurting. I cannot stop thinking about my head. Maybe your arm wants to tell you something. It wants to tell you, why do you only think about me when it hurts? Why do you only think about me when it hurts? Then when the pain goes away, you forget about your arm. What an ungrateful piece of you are you. How can you forget about your arm when it's not hurting? Value zero. That's what you gotta get addicted to when you are not feeling something. Because we think about the pain when we're sick, but when we're healthy, we don't think about that. And maybe your tooth is hurting, your teeth are hurting, and you are thinking, why me? My teeth are hurting, why today? I have to eat today. Don't you have to eat every day? Don't you have to think every day? But you are not important, and it's not about you. It's not about you, and it's not about now. It's about your teeth, and it's about back then when you didn't take care about your teeth. What you did or did not do back then is resulting right now. And what you're doing right now or not doing right now is going to give a result in the future. Now, what are you doing? Now everything is about levels, and how can you raise your level? You see your teeth is hurting, and I hope all of you are brushing your teeth, but still the dentist is giving you some bad news. How can you do that at a higher level? Maybe you can floss your teeth, and that's gonna help you. You're gonna smell better, and the doctor is not gonna give you some bad news in the future. And this time when you have to go to the dentist, you can use it for a vacation. But maybe you're in a job you don't like. It's all about levels, and I keep telling that, and I will repeat that. Because you got a job you got stuck with. Maybe it's good enough, but not better. If you spent one more week looking for a better job, you could have found a job that gave you more weeks vacation with more money and more freedom. And that's what I called, my friends, multiplying time. Using one extra week that's valuable to get more weeks. But now, you have to wait until the contract is over, until you can change a job and do what I just told you. You see, you could have been in the Bahamas, but you can't because you have to be at the doctor's, and you can't because you have to work at a work you maybe don't like. You know, everything is about levels. Everything is about levels, right? And what else can be done at a higher level? What else can be done at a higher level? Maybe your speech. Your speeches, you are here to get better, and you're here to learn how to speak from the best. But how can you do that? Many of you maybe are scared of speaking in front of people. You are scared that everyone is looking at you. But the reality is that only one person is looking at me at the time, one person. But it's me who is looking at everybody at the same time. And I can see who's putting their fingers in their nose, and I can see everything. I'm the one in control right here, right now. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're afraid. And you hope you don't fail. And while you're thinking that you will fail, you can actually be higher level and think, how can I crush it and amaze them and make them see the best speech they've ever seen, right? That's thinking at a higher level. When you work and you go back to your office the next day and your desk is full of papers, it's a waste of time. You're not working right. Just like when you're gonna bake a cake. It's time to bake a cake. And you go to the kitchen and it's full of dirty dishes. Now you have to spend time cleaning the dishes, just like your desk, just like your computer. Every time you finish working with something, close the program. The computer is going to get clogged. It's going to go slower. You think you're going to leave your computer open until the next day because you don't want to waste time opening the computer, but the computer is going to work slower. If you spend 5 minutes shutting it down and opening it, it's going to work faster. It's counterintuitive. Now back to the cake. You finish your dishes, and it's time to do the mixes, but you realize that you have no chocolate for the cake. How can you make the cake without chocolate? And you have no butter, and you have no flour, and you have no sugar, and you have to go to the shop. Now that ain't sweet. That tells about bad planning, and everything is about planning. Same thing goes for everything else, right? Like your teeth, like the cake, like the work, like their job. What else can be done better? Many people think, I'm gonna take punishment, because we heard the phrase, embrace pain. I'm gonna take punishment for life, and every day I'm gonna take it as it comes, and I'm gonna take blows, and I'm gonna plow through all obstacles. That's good. You know that things are coming your way. But what about not just taking punches? Because life is like a battle. Life is like a fight. Life is like boxing. If you're gonna take punches, sooner or later, you're gonna get knocked. Why don't just cover yourself and put some guard up? Everything can be done higher level. Don't just take punches. And why don't we just do it at a higher level, and instead of just getting punched in the arm while we're covering, which is good, why don't we just see the punch coming and move? And instead of just seeing the punch coming and move, we can see the punch coming, move, and hit back. But instead of doing that, we can also do that at a higher level. We can see where the source of the punishment is coming. And instead of making the punishment come, make good things come. Because we're used to taking punishment and embracing pain instead of embracing zero. Why don't we get ready to take in good things, good money, happiness, instead of just punishment? Because it's not all about that. Just like going to the gym. We have a muscle man right here, right? You know how it is when you go to the gym. You go for a year to the gym, it takes time, you don't want to go to the gym, and you are working and there's no results because you're doing it at a low level. Bad technique, no good diet, no good fasting. Everything is about the same thing. You see, I can give you a schedule, very beautiful schedule with the things you have to do. The things you have to do, very nicely. I can give you links to the best apps. But you are still going to end up doing the things you are addicted to because you are addicted. Drugs. I give you the schedule, and still you are going to go do what? Look at moments, look at memes, look at videos, chatting, drinking, and none of that is in your schedule. Why do you do it? Because you're addicted to that. Do you have brushing my teeth in your schedule? You don't have it in your schedule, but you do it because you do what you're addicted to. So you have to find your addictions, take them away, and find good addictions that are going to help you. Because no matter how good schedule you have, the addictions you have are going to write your schedule. And when you're addicted to the gym and you make it finally, and you go to the gym, and you made it to the gym, and you say, tomorrow I'm going to the gym at 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm pumped. What happens? You wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you cannot go to the gym at 8 o'clock, and then you are thinking, it takes an hour to go to the gym, or 5 minutes, but it took you an hour to get there. And then when you are there, it's going to be a mess. But until you get the rhythm of getting in the gym, you know how it feels. You know how good it is. You know the results. You leave the gym. You live the life. You basically act the role of a muscle man. Only then you can get addicted. And you can go to the gym without having it written, without nobody pushing yourself. Only then you can get in the groove, right? And when you get in the groove, that's when you're addicted. And when you get addicted, you get in the state. And what is the state? You see, I love languages, and I think that everything is a language. And there's a reason and no coincidence why words are the same. And we have the state of mind, but we also have a physical state, a geographical state, a political state, like the United States. Now, which one is right? Which one is real? Which one is wrong? Mental state, physical state. Now, why don't we refer to the business we all know makes a lot of money? Real estate. Maybe that one is the real one. We know that gives you a lot of money. Real estate. And some of us are smart to be in that business, right? Why? Because you have a building. You have a building and you want your companies to succeed. You want everybody to make money because they pay you rent. You want everybody in your sales to succeed. Everybody in your schedule to succeed. You want everybody to make money because nobody lives rent-free. And maybe, just maybe, what if I tell you that we are all in the real estate business, whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not. You see, this is our schedule. And every sale, right here, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, is like a story in your building, a floor in your building. And you are building a building every day. What type of building are you creating for your life? Some people create nothing, and they have nothing going. You cannot be rent-free. You cannot live rent-free. Everything in there is going to pay you dividends. And there I was in one of these sales of my day, and I get the call, and they told me, you have to do a speech. You have to change the world. Come on, help us. About what? Time management? No thing. That's easy. I plan speeches about time management for companies and workshops. I can do it in a blink of an eye. So I'm just going to take my extra time that I've planned and take myself a beer. And I'm just thinking about it, how good it's going to be, because I know this. And I imagine, I visualize how great it's going to be. I'm going to start the speech whistling myself up the stage. And I'm going to talk, and everybody's going to clap and be happy. But I just realized that my speech has to be 20 minutes. And I usually plan speeches for an hour or more. Now I have to start planning and thinking, right? So that time, that slot in my schedule that I had extra, you always have to plan extra time that I thought is going to be for leisure and fun. You're going to end up doing something you really have to do. And that's how it is. You think you have free time, but you're going to end up doing something you really have to do. And I just gave you a great tool, the tool of visualization and going to the future and realizing I have to come back and plan something. That, my friends, is called time traveling. And let's travel back to the beginning of time, where there was the Lord, Mr. God, to everybody praise to. You know, he was a little bit bored because he didn't do a speech like mine. So he wanted to say something. He had something to say. And it was all dark. And he said, let there be light. And then he said, that's not enough because I want more. He said, let there be sky. Let there be land. Let there be sea, oceans. Let there be mountains, animals, birds, people. And here we are. He phrased, let there be people. And here we are. He sentenced us to this place. We've been sentenced to earth, just like people get sentenced to jail. We are sentenced here. Now tell me, how long is your sentence? 50 years? 20 years? I think nobody here is 20 years. So at least more than that. 70 years, 100, 200, 300, 500 years, 1,000 years. How long is your sentence? You gotta realize that. You see, there's people in jail who spend and have a sentence of 15 years, 25 years, 45 years. And some of them get their college degree. They get their master's degree in jail. And they prepare to being a productive member of society outside of jail. And they got people working for them while they are inside their jail cell. You see, that's a jail cell. Just like your schedule, they're full of cells. And how is he acting is gonna show when he gets out of jail. And sometimes, if he has good, his sentence gets reduced to lesser time, and he can go out. Now, what are you doing in your cell? And your sentence is your objective. But some people are in jail, and they do nothing, and they get used to that life, and they're afraid of going out to the real world because they're not prepared. And sometimes they go out, and they get sent right back in because they committed a crime. Maybe they wanted to go back in, and that saved them. You know, everything is about how you act. You know, in my book, I'm writing about philosophy and languages. I talk about something undeniable that everybody knows. That verbs are actions. That means that everything you do is an action, which by default makes you an actor. Every time you are doing something, you are an actor. So you are an actor. So don't tell me I'm shy. Because when you are in the gym, you are not shy. You are a muscle man. And when you are brushing your teeth, you are a cleaner. Every time you're doing something, you are acting that role according to what the scenery is. And right now, we're in this cell. This is the scene. You are the public, and I am the hero of this little story. All right? Okay, guys. I gave you great tools to manage your time. And you can tell me, but you just told us a story. But let me ask you one thing. Tell me about somebody from the past who succeeded. And let me ask you, did that person make history without his story? You cannot make history without your story. And what are you acting in your cell? What's the story that's happening inside your cell? Every day you are creating history in a cell. That's why a building is full of stories. 1 story, 2 stories, 5 stories, 20 stories, many stories. Now, how tall is your building? How many stories do you have? And tools are nothing but instruments. And instruments is what we have. And every time we are in a cell, we're in a place, we're in a theater, it has a rhythm. It has a melody. When you're in the gym, you have your own song. And some people look at me and they say, you are funky, because maybe that made me in a situation where I had to be funky. Or maybe they said you got the blues, because I had to get the blues. I have to act according to the situation. And all of you do, whether you want to accept it or not. Right? It's all about instruments, just like music. And you got to tell me, what are you playing? What is the soundtrack of your life? Because soundtracks don't work without instrumentals. You all know that. It's a game. It's all a game. Everything is everything. And that's why language tells us that even alone, one thing cannot be alone if it doesn't have all one, because all is one, right? And I'm going to tell you about the triangle of life. The triangle of time. As you can see, it's a game. It's a game of pool. It's a triangle. It's a triangle, and for many people, the game looks like this. The balls are all over the place. All over the place are the balls, and the game has different colors. And each color is an activity. And some balls are full, and these are the balls that are stable. These are the balls that give you something, the addictions you want. And some are half, and that's what you don't want. That's the addictions you don't want to have that you still do. A half ball can be watching videos, chatting, wasting your time. For many people, they don't even know life is a game. And in billiard, if you don't know it's a game, you will never crack it. You have to crack the triangle for it to open up. And if you're lucky, maybe you get 2 inside the holes. Maybe one is full, maybe one is not. But you gotta realize there are 6 holes in the table of billiard. There's 6 holes in the tables of billiard. And what you want to do is you want to put those who are full color in every hole. And you want to also have them in the respective order, the right things to do, because you're going to have 2 extra colors that you are going to need for that extra time. Just like my speech. I had 1 8-ball. 1 8-ball that I didn't know was going to come. And it came with that call when they asked me to do a speech. And that was my 8-ball. And I could place that in an open hole that appeared thanks to my time management. All right? And that's what you got to do. You got to be ready. And only when you can do that, you can build the building of your life. You can make art out of it. And you want to have full pieces in each part, in each level, in each story, in each cell of your building. Because as an architect that I am, and the engineers here know that a good building needs a stable foundation. And only when you have a building full of the right pieces, which are full colored, that can support, and only when you can do this, we can follow God's plan. And on the 7th day, we can have a rest. Thanks.